I was thinking about it, and I was deciding, I don't really have anything to add in Dark Souls. I mean, Let's Play, everybody's saying that. If I have anything that I want to put off, or show off later, like something to do with bleed affecting Sullivan's Beast or whatever, then I'll post a video of that. But outside of that, I'm pretty sure that playthrough's done for. I'm not gonna waste time on that. I've already burnt myself out. I played too many characters already. But to Battlefleet Gothic Armada, I have been tearing it up on this game for several days now. I think the better part of a week, and it's been so much fun. I cannot express to you how much joy it brings me to play a Warhammer 40k game. Space combat, tactical, real nice and keen strategy that's actually good. Warhammer games have been notoriously hit or miss. It's like a coin flip. Sometimes you get things like Dawn of War. Sometimes you get things like that Carnage game that came out or whatever. That's disgusting. Then things you get like Battlefleet Gothic Armada, which is based on the tabletop game, if I'm not mistaken. I've never played the tabletop games. It's too expensive for me. I'm a Oliver Twist motherfucker. I'm a pauper. But I do have enough money to play Battlefleet Gothic Armada, and I will do. I've been playing the campaign mostly. I haven't really touched online yet, but if I do, I will post videos of that. I want everybody to see my first experiences. But talking about me and strategy, I don't know if I've deleted the video since, but there was a video on my channel about me trying to play a strategy game. It was Command & Conquer 1, like the open RA system where I could play it. I don't know if it's still there, but basically what it was me showing off how really bad I am at strategy games. Now, with this game coming out, and this is mostly tactics, admittedly, but there's a lot of strategic elements to it, and Total War Warhammer is coming out soon. I think on the 27th, maybe? So that'll be nice, and I was thinking, with these games kind of lining up, and with Dawn of War 3 in the distant horizon, maybe I should start investing into this. Maybe I should start showing off how bad I am at these strategy games and trying to climb my way out of the slums, so to speak. And I figure I might as well start with a series and lore that I love, Warhammer 40k. Mostly I'm just going to do the campaign for now. Now I've already played a good bit, like to turn 10 or so on normal. So I'm going to play on hard Ironman. No bullshit. So we're just going to have to live with all of our losses. And if you're unfamiliar, this game, you can lose a mission and not lose the campaign. It'll make missions harder later on, or just change the enemies you fight, maybe in quantity or in the quality. But the enemies you fight, in the campaign, let me not get ahead of myself. In the campaign, you play as the Imperium of Man, the Imperial Navy, and you fight against, I'll just say the factions. There's the Imperial Navy, which is like the vanilla. There's Chaos, which is a lot like Imperial Navy in a lot of the principles, except they're long range and they don't have as much armor. Then you have the Orcs, which are really shit maneuverability, but they're very tough, and in close range they're extremely dangerous. Then you have the Eldar, which I fucking hate. Not for like any gameplay balance reasons, I just don't like space elves. But without further ado, I'm gonna start this up. Now, I'm probably not going to focus too much on the story bits here. I'm more focused on the gameplay elements of it.
For 10,000 years.
So I'm going to skip
Captain
it. I'm sorry.
Data log Alpha.
I'll talk about
Battlefleet Command has lost contact with Orbital Station Aleph in the Naxos system. I'm on my way to investigate.
Sir, we're approaching the location of Orbital Station Aleph.
Captain, the station is surrounded by an asteroid field. I have calculated the best approach for us to pass through it safely.
I may or may not just kind of fast forward or skip this.
Awaiting orders.
Because this is just like tutorial, like click here. Well, I guess I could explain the controls while I'm here. This is just a tactics game, essentially.
Changing course.
It functions on the 2D plane, I suppose. Like you can only go on a flat surface here.
Understood.
You have different, I suppose I should explain how the weapons work first. Every ship, there are different ship classes. The first class you get is a cruiser. For example, this one is a cruiser. or it's a light cruiser actually, a Dauntless class light cruiser, and you'll see right away. Oh Jesus! You'll see right away that the game looks very pretty running off
There's
the
an
Unreal
active
4 engine.
minefield directly
Shut up!
ahead, Captain.
I'm trying to
We
explain.
must maneuver quickly, or it is likely the ship will be damaged.
All available power to the plasma thrusters.
Yeah, I know how to
We're going
avoid
to execute a
mines.
high-energy turn.
Resuming normal functions.
There we go. Yeah, but it runs on the Unreal 4
High
engine
energy
looking
turn
good.
successful,
Shut up!
Captain. The thrusters are already recharging.
Helm, resume our course to the orbital station.
Anyway, essentially in most of the battles, if not all the battles, you command a small fleet of ships, usually ranging from like
Underway.
3 to maybe 5, usually, in my experience.
Captain, our auger arrays indicate that the orbital station is heavily damaged. I suggest we move in
Please
closer
shut
to
up.
discover what happened here.
Okay, while I'm on my way to the more distant target here,
Captain, we can reach the station faster by pushing the engine status.
I'm not going to do that because I want to explain something. Shut up. Okay, so every class has its strengths and weaknesses. The light cruisers are the most maneuverable capital ships, or ships that you can choose as your admirals that actually cost resources. There are other ships, smaller ships that are escorts that don't cost anything if you lose them. They're usually to just fill out point values, which is the point value system is how you balance fleets. Like you have a 600 point battle, you can bring a total of ships that cost 600 points. So like maybe a Dauntless cruiser costs 100, so you could theoretically bring 6 of them if you had 6 available. But something like a battleship may cost 300 or something, like significantly more valuable because it's a much bigger, more powerful ship. So you have to have a more diverse fleet depending on the kind of missions there are. And there are certain kinds of missions like just a straight cruiser clash, which is just like a death match. You just kill all the enemy ships. Then you have something like assassination, which means you kill the enemy admiral ship.
Helm coordinates acknowledged.
Oh, I know it's going to happen. Then you also have the data recovery,
Orders received.
which requires you to perform steal data. I'll describe it when it comes to it. It's hard to describe without showing it off. And then you also have assault, which is basically reach certain points within the length of time without getting destroyed, which is probably the most challenging on an attack. Yeah, but the light cruisers usually a lot faster, but they're very versatile in their roles, but generally outclassed in terms of firepower and armor.
It seems like the station has been attacked recently. The enemy may still be lurking around.
Sir, I recommend dispatching some of the ship's armsmen to board Orbital Station Aleph and report on what they find. Course plotted.
You'll see here that we can perform a boarding action. If you perform this against an enemy ship, then it's basically a hidden dice roll. Well, it's not really hidden. It shows you a percent chance of it working. Here it's 100% because you have to do it right. But most of the time it'd be like maybe 30 to 40 percent, like 30% chance that it works. And if it does work, it inflicts critical damage. May that be causing a fire, which does damage over time, causing a hull breach, which also does damage over time, causing the generators to go out, which means the shields go down and don't come back on, taking out the engines, which means the ship moves extremely slowly. It could take out weapons, which means the ship straight up loses one of its weapon loadouts. Like if a battleship loses its macro turrets, then it's going to be at an extreme disadvantage. And then you can also, let me see, where the can I see? No, I guess not.
Boarding parties underway, Captain.
So there's engines, generators, and the deck, which allows them to use special orders.
Signs of explosions at the bulkhead.
All of those can be destroyed
This place is a mess.
by a critical hit on a boarding action.
They're all dead. Act cautiously, Sergeant. I have a bad feeling about this. Sir, we found a survivor. Sir, the station is a trap. We're under attack by Kraken forces.
Captain, a defense platform on the station has activated and is targeting our vessel.
Broadside macro cannons ready to fire on your order, sir. Engines hot.
Alright, now you see here that my ship is firing like a broadside and macro cannons. However, the range of fire is limited. For example, if I just turn front facing to them, then my macro cannons are not going to be able to fire. However, I do take less damage from the front because the prow armor is so strong. I am firing with a prow not turbo laser, that's Star Wars, I'm a fucking idiot. With a prow lance, heavy prow lance, there we go.
Target destroyed,
So while
Captain.
it's tempting to just click on your ship and click an enemy, your ship will sail directly at them until it's in range. However, it is much better to turn your broadside on them, at least for the Imperial Navy, and get your macro cannons to hit them, because your macro cannons are the most dangerous weapon you have as the Imperial Navy. Capable of inflicting severe damage.
Helm coordinates
Sir,
acknowledged.
the signals. They're iconoclast destroyers.
Chaos ships.
Yeah.
This sector is a long way from the Eye of Terror. What could they be after here?
Whatever their reasons, Captain, these heretics must be destroyed at once.
Captain, consulting the ship's cogitators and machine spirit can help guide you in making tactical decisions in battle.
Tactical Cogitor. It's basically a free slow-mo button. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't do anything other than just let you really focus, which takes a lot of the pressure off of like having to do everything really quickly. Instead, you get to actually think about stuff here. Also, it makes for really pretty
Master Gunner, we need to direct
pretty
additional
combat.
power to the targeting cogitators to increase our weaponry's accuracy.
Here we go. This is something that these are your special commands. Like you have reload, which reduces cooldowns of abilities. Things like lightning strikes and boarding actions also count as that. Then you have things like lock on, which means that your accuracy increase and your critical chances are increased. Then you have brace for impact, which raises your armor, makes you more hardy, and then you have running silent, which means that you basically disappear off of the enemy's radar for a little bit, making it so that they can't target you with things like bombers or their weapons. Very, very useful. However, for now we can use lock on and just get some straight DPS. As you see, our macro cannons are quite large and quite powerful. And here, you see, this thing does not have nearly as big a guns. These are escort vessels. They're iconoclast destroyers. All they have is light missile pods. Compared to my giant macro cannons, they're going to fall very, very rapidly.
Underway.
Hoping.
Course plotted. At your command.
There we go.
Setting course.
Get them to cut off. There we go. And that one's going to be destroyed.
Underway.
Just turn and big damage. The fleet that I'm basically going to be building, because you get to build your own fleet both in the multiplayer aspect and solo skirmish, also in the campaign. I'm going to be building a very macro cannon heavy, very close range knife fighter style of fleet, utilizing the effectiveness of these macro cannons to hopefully their fullest effect, and we'll see how it goes against the hard AI on Ironman difficulty. I'm not confident in my ability to pull it off necessarily, but I will give it my best go.
Well done, crew.
Captain, the auger arrays are reporting more enemy signals. Many more.
A gigantic chaos fleet. There's no way we could survive fighting them head-on. Contact the High Command immediately.
Unable to do so, Captain. All communications are jammed. Captain, there may be a way for us to escape and warn Port Moore. We could risk an emergency warp jump.
It's risky to engage the warp engines this close to the star's gravitational field. But the Chaos Fleet has us boxed in. Sir, we don't have any other options.
Warp, god damn ya. Yeah, at any point during a battle, you can warp out to avoid losing your ship, because losing your ship costs you money, or renown as it's called in this game. And it's you gain renown even if you lose a battle. So you can just take one for the team if you're just very in desperate need for renown, but you don't want to risk any of your ships. Because as I said, losing in the campaign does not mean that the campaign is over. I'm not sure how many campaign missions you can lose before your situation is irrecoverable, but hope I don't find out. See, our Dauntless leveled up, that's nice. Be able to show that off as soon as all these guys get out their exposition, because it's pretty heavy early on. Thankfully I can skip.
The Gothic sector is beginning to turn away from the Emperor's light. Treachery, sedition, and heresy have broken out like a plague upon our worlds. Admiral Spire, your new rank entitles you to command a small war fleet of Imperial Navy ships. It is your task to ensure the citizens of the Imperium remain safe and loyal.
Alright, Imperial soldiers have gone rogue and tried to take systems from you. This is basically, in these missions you'll fight against Imperial ships. You'll play against the Imperial Navy faction. You can only play as the Imperial Navy faction in the campaign, as far as I'm aware. Later on, very shortly, you'll have missions in which you fight against the Orcs, and then you'll have missions where you fight against Chaos, which we already just did. You also have missions where you fight against the Eldar as well. And all of the factions have their strengths and weaknesses that I'll outline more thoroughly whenever I come against them. Port Maw, Test of Faith, but I did the Prologue mission this time. Might as well just hop into the priority mission. These are missions you have to do first. Might as well explain this. You have a set number of deployments per turn. Like, let's say that there were another insurrection or some such on another planet, and I would only have one deployment. That means I would only be able to choose one to save or whatever, because while this mission is available on this particular planet, each basic product world loss reduces renown during my one. So as long as this one's gone, I gain less renown. Whereas if this world was lost, then each portal world loss reduces the chance of a bonus deployment by 10%. So that would prevent me from having bonus deployments in a round. Or not prevent, but it would make it less likely, which could hurt really big. So this is the part of the game that involves a lot of strategy, like which missions do you take, which threats do you take care of first, because you can't take all of the missions all the time. You're only going to be able to take a certain amount of missions per turn. And this is the part that's going to make me sweat a lot, because this is the part of a game that, like in XCOM, where in the actual battle I'm pretty comfortable and I feel like I can succeed a lot of the time pretty consistently. But in this, I'm certain that as soon as I have the option to, I'm going to fuck up. There's three things certain in life: death, taxes, and me fucking up a strategy game. It's gonna happen. I'm certain.